Good morning, everyone. I am JP the Outlaw, and I am here to give you my Raw review for July 30th, 2017. Sorry for the weekend. I didn't give out any news and rumors. I just was not feeling it. So I decided to take a personal day. I appreciate all you guys checking out the show at the regular time to see what the Outlaw had to talk about. So appreciate that. Furthermore, let's get into the show. They start off the show with Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Kurt Angle again comes out to get the crowd hypes, being as though they was in Pittsburgh. It would be nothing better than but to put Kurt Angle out there or Corey Graves. Corey Graves also being from Pittsburgh. Paul Heyman comes out, cuts a promo on Kurt Angle, telling Kurt Angle that his client Brock Lesnar would be leaving if he does not retain the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Now, he said that he got wise to Kurt Angle's angle. You put Brock against all odds and you expect Brock to lose, where Paul Heyman is looking at the latter. And also he's guaranteeing if Brock loses the title after SummerSlam, he will no longer be in the WWE. So that's pretty much the storyline from Brock's angle going into SummerSlam. I don't see them dropping the title, or I don't see him dropping the title to Braun or Samoa Joe, but they might just put it on Roman. I would not mind them putting it on Joe. I think Joe is great. I think it's his time now, especially with all the heat that he got from Great Balls of Fire. Going into our first match with the Club versus the Hardys, and you had the Revival on commentary. The Hardys pick up the win. Out breaks a brawl towards the end of the match. The Hardys walking up the ramp, but Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder was up there on commentary, and then they wind up getting into a fucking brawl. At the end of the brawl, the Hardys look good, standing tall at the top of the ring. All in all, good match. I like the Club. I think they could be doing a lot more with the Club. You can see that they're running the broken angle, which makes me believe that, eventually that, you'll get the broken Hardy gimmick inside the WWE, especially when you got Michael Cole coming out of his mouth with, they have woke something in the Hardys. Last week you had the Hardys cut a somewhat broken promo, and as Jeff would say, which would render them obsolete. So stay tuned. I think that's coming sooner than later. Renee Young in a backstage segment with Dean Ambrose and giving Dean Ambrose an interview. Now, we all know, breaking kayfabe here, we all know that Dean Ambrose and Renee Young are married. And I feel I'm very critical of people who tend to break their character mid-scene. And you can see that she was happy to be in a segment with her husband. It's written all over her fucking face. And I feel as though outside of her doing interviews with Dean, the reaction that you normally get from Renee Young is bland. It is like the worst fucking the worst interaction between an interviewer and the person getting the interview. And I'm not talking Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'm talking freaking Jesus Christ, Matt Stryker or NXT, the original NXT, when it was a game show still. I'm talking that shit. That's how bad our interview segments are. But, well, I can't even say it's bad. You have no, I'm looking for the word charisma, and I think that's the right word I'm gonna go with, because the same thing could be said about Dean Ambrose. You didn't see anything leading off into or anything like that with Dean looking like his charisma was up. He was ready to go. He looks more relaxed. If anybody in the Shield looks like they get high, it's Dean Ambrose. Are you peddling drugs, Dean? Are you peddling drugs for Roman Reigns? That's all I got to say about that. Seth Rollins happy that they picked up the win last week, but Dean does still not trust Seth Rollins, which would take them into another segment after the commercial break. You got Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro are back on Raw, thank God. Sheamus and Cesaro making fun of Seth Rollins and, him not being able to remend that fence between him and Dean Ambrose. Y'all used to call each other brothers. And now it's more like you guys are barely friends. So I like the angle. I like where they're going with it. This, of course, upsets Seth Rollins. He challenged one of the two to a fight tonight. And, of course, Sheamus steps up. He says, Seth, you seem to be digging your hole, but don't dig no further because I'm right here. So there you go. 6-man cruiserweight match. And this would be the only cruiserweight match of the night. I have to make a notable mention. All 5 men outside of Tozawa was inside the ring. So that left you with, on the opposite side of the ring, Tony Nese, Daivari, TJP, and teaming up with Tozawa was Rick Swann and Cedric Alexander. Now, I feel bad for the cruiserweight division. Okay? Slowly but surely, they're making the cruiserweight division just completely oblivious. Like, you really don't need to do anything or watch anything that the cruiserweights are putting out there. A good 5-minute match, of course, and that was pretty much it. Cedric Alexander and his team picks up the win thanks to Tozawa. I'm tired of Titus O'Neil and Worldwide. I don't know. He got beef with Booker T, and Booker T got beef with the Young Bucks. So there you go. Young Bucks, if you don't know, that's an indie wrestler. So get your indie game up if you're going to be listening to the Outlaw podcast. Anyway, in-ring segment with the Miz Taraj and Jason Jordan. Now, Jason Jordan's music is fucking horrible. It is fucking horrible. It looks like they tried to do something with America's Alpha's theme song and Kurt Angle's theme song and try to bind it into one. But for Jason Jordan, if you're building a wrestler, and I heard this being brought up in many different conversations. If you're building a wrestler, does the theme song make the wrestler or does the wrestler make the theme song? Clearly, this could be something that could damage Jason Jordan. I don't even like Cass' theme song. They have yet to work that the fuck out. So, yeah. I don't know what's the next move for Jason Jordan, but you got to do something as far as change that theme song. The Miz comes out, and he invites Jason Jordan to a Miz TV. And the Miz comes out. He's talking shit, about Jason Jordan, trying to figure out what's going on with him. What do you think? And he seems to bring up every statement that everybody is bringing up. The opportunities are being thrown at Jason Jordan. Of course, Jason Jordan playing the innocent role. I don't want nothing to do with opportunities being handed to me. I'd rather come in the ring, earn my opportunities to face anybody in the WWE. Now, The Miz, again, tries to bargain with Jason Jordan. Let me guide your career with somebody like Kurt Angle as your father. You will be good for the Miz Taraj. Well, again, Jason Jordan's like, no, I'm cool. I got it. I don't need guidance from somebody like you. And then The Miz goes off. The Miz cuts a very passionate promo towards Kurt Angle and what I believe that the backstage locker room, maybe even somebody in management, believes that Kurt Angle is not ready for the position that he's in, and they gave him that position out of pity for being pretty much used up and bruised up throughout his illustrious career in professional wrestling, not just WWE, in professional wrestling. So, of course, that makes Jason Jordan mad. The one thing, of course, he defends his father. He hits a over-the-body suplex with The Miz, where, again, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are standing behind The Miz, so they get caught with all that. He knocks everybody in The Miz to Rich out, except for Maurice. So, if anything, the only gap hole I see in a storyline like this, and of course, Jason Jordan's real father. I'm talking, again, breaking kayfabe. His real father has to have a problem with this. Hence the reason why he keeps calling him Kurt Angle. Now, they could always run it as Kurt Angle is the biological sperm donor, but this man who raised me is my father, and that's fine. But in the same sense, you got Kurt rubbing the back of Jason Jordan's head one week, calling him his son and this, that, and the third, like really getting off on the angle. And you really had no real response from Jason Jordan. You don't even get Jason Jordan saying, yo, that's my brand new stepdad or anything of that nature. Not even stepdad. That's my brand new sperm donor. And yeah, there it is. They don't give you none of that. So if I had to critique anything on this angle, it would definitely be that. Seth Rollins versus Sheamus, and good match. Seth Rollins picks up the win. Sheamus and Cesaro gets themselves together. They goes in there and start fucking Seth Rollins up. They're fitting to walk away, but Seth Rollins still talking shit. They go back in there and fuck Seth Rollins up again. Out comes Dean Ambrose. At this point, the crowd is going bananas. They want Ambrose. So Ambrose comes out. First thing Ambrose do is jump into the ring. He knocks out Cesaro and then start attacking Sheamus, and then hence to get his ass kicked. So what is the point of having backup if your backup comes out just to get fucked up? It completely defeats the purpose. Sheamus and Cesaro walk away looking strong. Of course, doing their patented raise the bar gimmick thing. Nothing wrong there. I actually like this segment going into it. I think they could be doing a lot more with Seth Rollins. I know you got the title picture clogged up right now. So what better way to get Dean and Seth on the show, put them in a tag team, and they're slowly reuniting the Shield with this tag team. Just saying. A video package from Samoa Joe, and I should make a notable mention that they had a video package earlier in the night with Roman Reigns. Nothing big there, same old, hyping up everything going into SummerSlam. You get an in-ring segment with Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. Bray Wyatt again cuts a lovely promo on Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes out with a classic Bray Wyatt move. You know when the screen goes out and it does blah. All right, well, picture Bray with some red UV lights and standing in there doing that goddamn pose that Bray does everywhere, even on the goddamn turnbuckle. So he gets a couple of moves off. That makes Bray Wyatt leaves the ring. Finn walks away looking strong. No problem there. That takes us into our next match, which before the next match, you got another video package from Braun Strowman. But that takes us into our next match, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman. Of course, the match of the night. Roman picks up the win here. I do not like the fact that they gave Roman a pin over Joe. Even though I know this is not their rubber match at all. I know that. But I don't like the fact that Samoa Joe is taking pinfall losses. Now, again, with this, Braun Strowman, I don't see him taking a loss, especially a pinfall loss, to a Samoa Joe or Roman Reigns, maybe even Brock Lesnar. Which, again, that's just the way they've been booking him lately with the Doomsday booking. You guys know how I feel about Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Superman versus Doomsday. You guys know how I feel about that. So with that type of booking, of course Joe would eat the loss. But Joe has been a beast. Joe has been fucking on fire since Great Balls of Fire. And I don't see why he's eating losses leading up into a pay-per-view. Okay? Now normally, what they do, they had these guys go one-on-one leading up into the weeks into the pay-per-view, which is not a bad idea. This triple threat match was not necessary. And not necessary in the sense of, okay, who the fuck needs to lose going into the SummerSlam? You could have easily booked these three in matches via the night, and you could do the same thing leading all the way up to SummerSlam. Mind you, they got 4 weeks, and I think SmackDown maybe has, 3 or 2 to build a decent pay-per-view outside of, because they've been building towards a SummerSlam since Great Balls of Fire. Hence, everybody's saying Raw is better than SmackDown. It is not. It is not. It's just a weird, fucked up schedule that SmackDown so